if I look at this particular trade, this is the, okay, let me use a particular chart with plenty history. All right, when I look at this particular trade, I will start on the monthly time frame. Now, if you look at it, already the monthly time frame has what? This opposition bar. It was going up before. The movement was up. Then we have this weekly, this bearish opposition bar. Automatically, the monthly time frame is now my what? My main time frame. Automatically, the monthly time frame becomes my main time frame, because if you look at it, it is the one that does what? That forms the range. First of all, it makes price consolidate around this area. It is now a main time frame bar, because like I said, it is the highest time frame with the opposition bar. So in this situation, the main time frame is our opposition bar. Likewise, this particular point, it is the main time frame is what? The highest time frame with our opposition bar. Now, if you will ask me, let me go back to the USD card. If you will ask me, and you say, okay, but if you look at it this way, are we going to wait for the end of the month? Yes, you have to wait for the end of the month to determine the new trend of the market. But waiting for the end of the month is 31 days. Are we not going to take a trade? Good. So I want to answer this question. If you look at it, we have the particular month. I want to highlight this particular month right now. Now, if I go down to, that is December bar, if I go down to my daily time frame, this is December. December started from this point. December started from this point. Now, let's assume that we are not seeing this particular area. We are not seeing this particular area. We are only seeing this particular November bar. If you look at it, this is November. Okay, this is 1st of December. This is the November 30th bar. Good. So we are not seeing all this. On normal, we all know that the daily time frame, you have to pieces the monthly bar, which is the what? The main time frame. Then you have to look at the daily time frame. You have to look at the daily time frame. You want to work with the monthly, daily, because the monthly is the main time frame. But since we can't wait for a month, we have to go down to the daily, because the daily is the primary time frame of the main time frame. So we have to go down to the daily. So this is our daily bar. Noticing our daily bar, what do we have here? We notice that the day is in a what? Is in an uptrend. This is uptrend. Now, I would love us to pick this particular point. From this particular point to explain this concept. Remember, what we are doing right now is we are looking for a main time frame inside a bigger main time frame. And what did I do? Since the main time frame is the monthly time frame, I go down to the daily. The daily is now my what? The daily is now the time frame I am looking at. The daily is now the time frame I look at, because it is the primary time frame to what? To the monthly time frame. Because we want to look for trade, inter-monthly trade. Not intraday right now, intra-monthly trade, because it's waiting for a full 31 days is taking a lot of time. So we have to look for taking trades inside the day, the week, and every other thing. So that is why we are coming down to the daily time frame. Now, if you look at this daily time frame, now I want to start from this particular point. Don't forget this particular point. This is 9th, yeah, October. This is October. September bar. Yeah, this is September. I want to start on this particular, the 9th of last year. Now, if you look at this particular point, the first day market drops, second day the market drops, third day market drops. The fourth day, notice it. What happened? We have an opposition bar. Automatically, daily is now my what? Opposition bar. Now, following the rules of finding the main time frame, if I highlight all this particular day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, let's start on 5-minute time frame. I want to show us the transition within this 3 bar. I want to show us transition of the main time frame. Transition of the main time frame. Now, looking at this 3 bar, let's go down and see. We will have 5. I want to from this 1 hour time frame. From this point, we have price forming the support and resistance field. Remember, this is the resistance field and this is the support field. For record, I love breakouts. I love my breakouts to break out from a field. In short, not just a zone, a field. Support and resistance field. It must break out from that field for me to be fully aware that yes, this is a breakout. Now, if you look at it from this point, price broke down. Now, in coming down, we have a what? A particular, but in a scenario whereby instead of it, like look at this, for example, now this particular place, please let's pay good attention. This particular level from this point, 1, 2, 3, this particular point became a 4-hour zone, a 4-hour what? Main time frame. Look at it. Okay, it was not even a 4-hour main time frame, is it? It was not. Why? Because there is no opposition bar in the 4-hour between this particular bar and this bar. So automatically this 1 hour bar, this long 4 hours bar, and you are seeing this 8 hours, the combination of the two of them. The main time, there was no point in time where 4 hours is the main time frame. Instead, it is what? 1 hour. Because at the end of 1, 2, 3 hours of bullish, price still close bearish. So automatically the main time frame now is what? 1 hour. So we are waiting for a what? A breakout. If you notice, when the 1 hour was ranging, what happened to 4 hours? 4 hours did not blink. It was just stable, representing, although it was representing the rise in 1 hour. Look at it. And the market did not move at all. That is what we are saying. It has 1 hour now has the controlling power because it is in 1 hour time frame that is holding the market from what? From moving. Now, if you notice, when we have a breakout from this particular point in the 1 hour time frame, when we have the breakout, look at where the breakout of this particular breakout. What happened? Price moved for another what? Another 3 hours. For another 12 hours. 4 hours back, 3 bars, 12 hours. Price moved for another 12 hours. And that's why if you notice it from here, look at this scenario. Price breaks out from this 1 hour bar, drops, breaks out from this 1 hour bar, drops, breaks out from this 1 hour bar, keep on dropping. Keep on dropping. But in this scenario, in the context of the main time frame, the higher time frame, we want to see price breaks through this level because this is the range that it has formed from this point to this point. That is the range that the market has formed here. This is the range the market formed. This range, the market formed this range. So we need a clear breakout from this range in order for us to say, okay, the market is going down lower, it's going lower more. But in as much as the market is still inside this range, it is not going to go lower. Let's assume we have a breakout from the top instead of this down. The market is going back to eat this top because the 1 hour is the main time frame. It was one that had the controlling power as at that time. So we have the breakout and look at it, price breaks out. Now what happened at this region? 1 hour, the same thing that happened there, happened there. But what happened this time around? It transits to what? It did not even transit. Why did I say it did not transit? Because 4 hour did not form the opposition bar at this point, but instead, where did it form it? It formed it at this particular next bar here. So even at this point, 1 hour was the main time frame. 1 hour was the main time frame. 1 hour was the main time frame. And when we have a breakout from the 1 hour time frame, look at it, this is the main time frame. When we have the breakout from the 1 hour time, look at it, this is the range, 1 hour form, don't forget, this is the range. The opposition bar and the support field, the resistance field, and the opposition bar inside, that is the range. The support field, the resistance field, and the opposition bar. You want to cover everything. And when we did have the breakout, what happened? Price went higher. This here, it's price went higher. Price went higher. When we get to TPT zone, you will understand why it retraces from this point. But now price went higher because of what? We have the breakout from this 1 hour range. So it went higher. And what happened? We now have a what? A 4 hour range as the main time frame because we now have the first opposition bar in the 4 hour, and which is this bar, which is this particular long bar. And if you look at it, For how many days or how many hours? For how many bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was 7 bars. The 4-hour refused to break either up or down. Now you can look at it when I say it has a controlling power. Because the 4-hour refused to break out, every other price area was static. They did not move at all. They did not move. They did not move. It became static. And that is this was this around this area will now have the peak of the daily time frame. They did not move. Now, if you look at it, when price now breaks out from this 4-hour region, price breaks out from this 4-hour region. Remember, it's a breakout. This is our 4-hour region. Price breaks out from this 4-hour region. Look at it, this particular bar. And what happened? We now start seeing the what? The drop. We saw a drop to this level. We saw a drop to this level. Remember, we've transited from what? 1 hour as the main time frame to 4 hours of the main time frame. Why? Because of this is the transition bar here. This particular bar. It transits at this particular time. Look at it as at that time. I never said it continues. I said as at that time because it can change. Because even from this particular point, there's a particular region when 1 hour was the what? The main time frame. But because of in the context of the higher time frame, we are looking at what? The higher time frame region, and that is what? The 4 hours. So when you come down to the daily time frame did not change until we got to this point. Look at it. 4 hours breakout. Even at this point, as at this particular point, we are hoping that the daily will take charge as the what? As the main time frame. But did it? Let's go back to the daily time frame. Look at it. It did not. The daily did not. But instead, it was the 4 hours. And what do? We form our range. What is the range? The resistance field. The resistance field that it formed. This is the resistance field, and this is the support field. It gives us the range. And when it gives us that range, what happened? We have what? We have, this is our position bar. The position bar is inside of it. And so look at it, when price closed below it, look at it. This one is very, 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 very tricky. When price closed below it, what happened? One thing I hate in my breakout is a long shadow breakout. I hate it. When a particular breakout bar comes out with a long shadow, I don't value it as a breakout bar. I don't value it as a breakout bar at all. In short, when the shadow is equal to the body or it is higher than the body, I don't value it as a breakout bar. And instead, I look at opportunity of with them changing their hands. Remember when we talk about changing hands in BOFS? Good. Now, look at it. At this point, they break out from here. Yes, they did. They went back. They came back to this point. But they did not go further down. Why? Because they are actually forming their activities. And if you look at it, it was at this particular point that we have the daily time frame as the what? As the main time frame. And what happened? We have a close below the main time frame. But like I said, I don't fancy a particular breakout where we have the tail of the breakout or the shadow of the breakout is double. No, I don't fancy it. I don't fancy it at all. And if you look at this, the body is very small. It comprises of this particular bar. When we discuss candlestick, this particular bar has an upper tail, a lower tail. To tell you that the buyers were more in this particular bar and the sellers did their best, but at the end of the day, the buyers came into the market. And so we have the daily time frame. The market now transits to the daily time frame using this particular range. This particular range. This particular range. Can you see? This particular range. Now, if you notice, I made use of the support and resistance field of this particular low, not this one. Why? Because because this particular bar, the field got to this extent. And that is why we saw a rejection from this particular breakout bar. The rejection was there. And so price went back up. If you notice, there was no breakout from this zone. No breakout above. Instead, we have the breakout below. Now, if you look at this one now, in this particular point also, price came down. Price came down. Look at it. Now, it breaks out from this particular bar. But what happened? Look at it. The same bar. I don't like it. I hate it. And so what happened? You saw the buyers coming up, but at the same time, the sellers took charge again. So this particular point again, although we have the breakout on this resistance field here, I will still come back here and say, this is now my resistance field area. Can you see? And now what happened? We have a breakout on this particular bar, and we have the breakout. We have price dropping. We saw price dropping. We saw price dropping. Price drops. Price drops. And dropping, now you look at it. The daily still continue to be the what? The main time frame, because at the weekly area, look at it, the weekly zone, there was no what? Formation of the weekly bar. There was no weekly opposition bar. But instead, what happened to the daily? Look at it. The daily at this point now formed the opposition bar. The daily formed the opposition bar. Look at it. This particular support field, and this is the opposition bar here. This is the resistance field for the opposition bar. Now, the resistance field attracts to this point. It attracts to that point. And of course, what do we have? We have a breakout at this particular zone. This is the breakout of this particular zone. Price breaks it out from this point. And we saw what? A shoot up. Look at it. Very big shoot up. A shoot up. Now, at this point, the weekly now became the what? The main time frame, because we now have a weekly what? Opposition bar. This is the weekly opposition bar. This is the transition. And what do we have to wait? We have to wait for a what? A weekly close, a close below the weekly close. Now, let me now clean all what we have and come down to this point. I guess this is where we're looking at. Yeah. Now look at it. At this point, the weekly time frame formed an opposition bar. Now you bear me witness that every analysis we've taken, the price keep on going down because it is trending bearish. But at this point, we have the breakout above to tell you that what? The weekly time frame is the main time frame right now. The market is trending bearish, right? The market has been trending bearish for so long. We are supposed to have a close below this particular point. If you have, believe me, and we do this normal BBP pattern, then we drop. But instead, what happened? There is a breakout above at the end of the week. Remember, we said something, the expectation, we expect it to break out. At the end of the week, this is the week. The week closes above our resistance field. This is it. This is the bar that closes above our resistance field. This particular bar, it closes above our resistance field. And what do we see? We saw price shoot up. Price shoots up. Now, in shooting up, we notice something, another transition. We have the daily time frame. The daily time frame becomes the highest time frame. At this point, it went up. Now, if you look at this, let me now take these two bars and show you something, this particular two bar, and I will show you something from the, let's see if we can have the 5 minutes. Let's see if we can have the 5 minutes. I want to show you the transition. We don't have the 5 minutes time frame. I'm not bringing back the history. Okay, let's see if we have it in 15 minutes. We have it 15 minutes here. 15 minutes. I'm supposed to have it here. All right. Now let's see in the 30 minutes. We want to see a transition of main time frame from 30 minutes up to the daily, to the weekly, to the monthly. And let's see. Now, if you notice, this is the particular area. This is where we have the breakout. Yeah, this place is the breakout. Now, if you notice the breakout, this is the first. Now we want to check. We are picturing this particular move, this up move. Tangle properties. Good. Now we are looking at this move. Now this is the first day, the first 30 minutes. No opposition bar after the breakout. This is it. Now what we want to know is this. This is the 30 minutes opposition bar. At the end of the 1 hour, did we have an opposition bar? Because we said the main time frame is the highest time frame with the opposition bar. 30 minutes as at this point is the highest time frame. Now let's go to 1 hour. Now, if you look at it, 1 hour at the end of 30 minutes also has a position bar. So automatically, 30 minutes is no longer the main time frame, but 1 hour is automatically. Now, since 1 hour is, we want to go to 4 hours and see if 4 hours, okay, 4 hours, did 4 hours also have this? And yes, 4 hour habits. So you can see that 30 minutes pause created a 1 hour pause and also created a 4 hour pause. Tell you that the transition was from 30 to 1 hour to 4 hours. It started from 30 minutes, extend to 1 hour, then extend also to what? To 4 hours. I want you to understand all these things, the transition here. And now when we have the breakout on the 4 hours, what happened? Price trended up. Now let's go back to the trend again after we have the breakout on the 4 hours. This is it, the breakout on the 4 hours. Now, when price broke out, we also have another what? Another opposition bar from the 30 minutes. Now let's go to the 1 hour and see. Now, if you look at it, the 1 hour did not have any what? Opposition bar. So automatically, the 30 minutes is still the main time frame. So we are looking for a what? A 30 minutes breakout. And see, this is a 30 minutes breakout here. This is a 30 minutes breakout here. Price still went higher. 1 hour did not form opposition bar. Instead, 30 minutes form opposition bar. This is 30 minutes. And what happened? We have another breakout in 30 minutes. Price still went higher. 1 hour did not form opposition bar. For 30 minutes, we saw another what? Now we saw another what? Opposition bar here. And what happened? 1 hour formed it also. Now we now know that what? We have to locate our what? Our resistance field and our support field. And our support field. Our support field. Now what happened? Where is the breakout? The breakout occur around here. This is the breakout now. Now let's see if this thing extends to 4 hours. Of course, it did not. So 4 hours, 1 hour is just the main time frame. Now the transition occur. Now we have the breakout. Now in having the breakout, look at it. Price still went higher above this because it is the 1 hour time frame, and we have a pure breakout. But instead, market formed a top. Formed the top. In this situation, what now happened? 4 hours has now become our what? Main time frame. And what? Do we have a 4 hour break above? No, we do not. We did not at all. And what do we have? We have a break below the 4 hour time frame. Remember, I told you the support and the resistance field. Then we have the sell down. This is the transition we talked about. This is a transition we are talking about. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about now is what? Is the expectation. What do we expect to see? I've talked about how we form the main time frame, how to spot the main time frame. I've also talked about what we expect the main time frame to do. Now, what I want to talk about now is the thing we are expecting the main time. The expectations. The expectation that let's talk about it. I've talked about the controlling power rather. Now I want to talk about the expectation. The expectations. The expectation that let's talk about it. I've talked about the controlling power rather. Now I want to talk about the expectations. The expectations. Now I listed 4 expectations and I've shown you the first one, a breakout. For example, this particular one, a breakout. Now we have a pure breakout. This is the first one. A pure breakout. This is the first one. We have a pure breakout. Remember, this is a 4 hour region. And we have the breakout. We have the breakout. Breakout price breaks out to this zone. Now, the second one is the BMS for a retracement. Now, the BMS for a retracement. Now, let's go down to this particular region. This particular region from the beginning. Yeah, at this point. If you notice this, remember when we did this, when the 30 minutes was the power, the controlling power, the main time frame. And we said we needed a BMS for a what? For a what? A retracement. Now, but let me talk about the BMS for a reversal. Yeah, BMS for a reversal. It started from this point. Remember, when the weekly time frame was, yeah, this point. Let's go down to this point. Remember when we discussed about this? Good. Now let's go down to the 4 hours. Let's go down to the 4 hours. If you notice something, what happened? We saw a break in the 4 hours. We saw a break in the 4 hours market structure. Yeah. The break happened here at the end of the weekly time frame. This is it. This is where our weekly time frame breaks out from. So they already changed. This is what we call a break in the BMS for reversal. This point is what we call a break in BMS for reversal. This is a break in BMS for reversal. A break in market structure for reversal. And this is what the main time frame causes. Can you see? The 4 hours. Because of the weekly is the main time frame, we went down to the primary time frame, saw our break in the market structure, then the market reversed up. So this is the second scenario. Now, the third scenario, the first scenario I talked about is the breakouts. The breakout for continuation, breakout for continuation. And it occurs around this point, this particular point where we have the breakout from this point. Yeah, this 4 hour bar. Now I want to talk about the next one, a breakout for a what? A retracement, a BMS for a retracement and a BMS for a continuation. Now let me just pick this point. Now, of course, we know the rules of BMS. I don't want to say it, we know the rules. So, and what is the rules? We have a BMS in the break of 30 minutes. This is it. We have a BMS. Price breaks through this particular point, this particular market structure. At the end of 4 hours, then price went down, drop. Now what happened again? We have another, this is now, this particular point now is a break, a BMS break for a retracement, because we already know that we have a confirmed bullish trend from the weekly time frame, higher time frame. So this is a BMS break for retracement. Now what happened? Look at what they did again. They did the same thing, like forming market structure here. And this is the field of the structure. Break out from it to give us the what? The BMS break. BMS break for what? BMS break for what? Continuation. The continuation of the what? The continuation of the general trend. So this is it. Remember, we talked about this now. How to expect the main time frame. I said the opposition bar, the highest time frame with the opposition bar is the main time frame. What does it do? It is the controlling house, the controlling time frame that control every activities of the market. As at that time, it's very necessary because there is going to be a transition. And we talk about the transition, how the main time frame transits from 5 to 15 to 30 to 1 hour, 4 hours, daily, weekly, then monthly. Then we talk about what to expect. And I said there are 4, a BMS for a retracement, this, a BMS for continuation, a BMS for breakout, this particular point for continuation where we have the breakout, then a break in the market structure for a reversal, the bigger picture. So this is what you want to expect in the main time frame. So in the next video, we'll talk about the primary time frame and the intermediate time frame combined. So please study these and understand, study and understand. It's nothing there, there's nothing difficult there, just for you to practice continually, keep on practicing continually. Even from this particular thing alone, you will be able to understand a lot on how the market moves with time trading system. Thank you for your time and God bless you.